One of these upgrades can destroy your front suspension before 60,000 miles. Another one can quietly push your engine toward a $6,000 rebuild. And the third one is a $40 piece of plastic that does absolutely nothing except void your powertrain warranty. But 4 upgrades actually deliver. One costs under $200 and can prevent a $6,000 transmission rebuild. Another adds years to your EcoBoost engine for the price of a tank of gas. I'm RJ. I've been wrenching on Fords for over 20 years, and trust me, after seeing what these upgrades do on the lift, I've got a lot to say. Here's the list. Let's start with the worst. 3 upgrades that promise to improve your truck and end up costing you thousands. You've seen these. $40 to $200, plug into your OBD port, gain 30 to 50 horsepower, improve fuel economy by 15%, 5 stars, thousands of reviews. They are scams, every single one. People have torn these apart on camera, and guess what they found inside? Either a simple resistor or literally nothing at all. Just a circuit board with a blinking light. The ones that appear to do something, they're worse. I had a customer bring in a 2018 F-150 3.5 EcoBoost, 60,000 miles, rough idle, poor fuel economy, hesitation under boost. He'd been running one of these chips for 2 years. We pulled it, plugged in a real scanner, the fuel trims were completely off. The chip had been feeding the IAT sensor false data the entire time. The ECU was compensating by running rich, and the turbos were seeing inconsistent boost conditions. That's how you end up with premature ring wear on an engine that should go 200,000 miles. Here's what the ones that work actually do. They lie to your truck's computer. They tell the ECU the air coming in is cooler than it really is. The ECU adds more fuel. You might feel a brief response. What you're actually doing is running rich, building carbon on your intake valves, and adding heat stress to the combustion chamber. The aggressive ones push the timing into knock territory. Quiet piston and ring damage over thousands of miles until you're looking at a $5,000 to $8,000 rebuild with no explanation. Real tuning exists. HP tuners with a proper calibration rewrites your ECU with data specific to your engine, your fuel, your elevation. That's a tool that changes something real. If a device promises 30 to 50 horsepower for $80, ask yourself why Ford left that on the table when they had the engine on a dyno for 2 years. They didn't miss it. It isn't there. But wait. It gets worse because this next one tricks you into thinking you're upgrading your truck while it's quietly destroying your front end. I've seen $3,000 in suspension damage from a $40 upgrade. Level out the rake, fit bigger tires, look more aggressive, $50 to $150. Everywhere on Amazon. And the cheap spacer-only kits, a puck that bolts on top of your factory strut, are destroying front ends all over the country. Now, I'm not saying all leveling kits are bad, but here's what I am saying. A spacer that bolts on top of your factory strut changes the geometry of your entire front suspension without accounting for that change. And on an F-150, that has real consequences. I bought a used 2019 F-150 XLT to turn around. Previous owner had put a 2.5-inch spacer kit on it at 55,000 miles. A $40 Amazon kit. I put it on the lift, and both CV boots were already cracked and weeping grease. Ball joints had measurable play. F-150 Gen 14 forum members report ball joint failures at 40 to 60,000 miles on leveled trucks. Wear that should show up past 100,000 on a well-maintained F-150. I had to look that owner in the eye and tell him his upgraded truck needed $2,800 in front-end work at 55,000 miles. His face when I said that number. I'll never forget it. That $40 spacer cost him more than a quality coilover system would have. Here's the geometry problem. Ford engineered the CV axles, ball joints, and control arms to operate within specific angles at normal ride height. A spacer pushes the front end up 2 to 2.5 inches and changes every one of those angles. CV axles run steeper than designed. At full droop, wheel dropping into a pothole, that angle goes even further outside the operating range. Boots crack, grease escapes, joint fails. $300 to $500 per side. The upper ball joint sits at a more acute angle under static load, and spacer kits reduce available shock droop travel. At full extension, the upper control arm can contact the coil spring, which it was never meant to do. I've seen steering racks damaged from repeated contact after a spacer install. A steering rack on an F-150 is $1,200 to $1,800. I see trucks with these kits destroying CV axles before 70,000 miles. If you want your truck leveled, do it right. Fox, Icon, or Bilstein coilovers engineered for the F-150's geometry with correct valving and extended travel. Run $300 to $400 for the fronts. You get the lift, better ride, and appropriate suspension angles. That's the upgrade, not a $40 puck. You know what I tell every F-150 owner who walks into my shop? Real upgrades protect expensive parts. Fake ones create expensive problems. And a lot of that comes down to knowing your truck's actual service requirements, not what the dealer tells you at the counter. I put together a maintenance guide specifically for F-150 owners. Fluid intervals, service schedule, the specs Ford doesn't hand you when you drive off the lot. If you want it, the link is in the description. It's free. Now this next one might surprise you, because it's not about a scam product. It's about a legitimate product used the wrong way. Oiled performance air filters are not inherently bad. The concept is real. The problem is what happens when F-150 owners service them. A customer came in with a 2016 F-150 5.0, code P0171, lean on bank 1. Rough idle, sluggish throttle response. He'd had a K&N drop in for 3 years and had just re-oiled it himself. I pulled the MAF sensor, and the hot wire elements were coated, a light film of oil on both wires. That sensor reads airflow based on how much heat those wires lose. When they're coated, the reading drifts. The PCM adjusts fuel delivery based on bad data. $300 for a new MAF sensor, cam reset, and the truck ran clean. The filter wasn't the problem, how he oiled it was. On EcoBoost applications, this matters even more. The MAF reads airflow going into the turbos. Boost pressure is calculated from that signal. It has to be accurate. When oversaturated oiled media migrates oil onto the MAF wire elements, you get an incorrect airflow reading and fuel trims drift. On a direct injection EcoBoost, that lean condition accelerates carbon buildup on the intake valves. The same problem the engine is already prone to. You're compounding it. The fix? Oil the filter to a light red-pink color, not dark red. Let it absorb for an hour before installing. Clean the MAF with CRC MAF cleaner every time you service the filter, or switch to a dry element. S&B and AFE both make high-flow dry filters that outperform oiled cotton without the contamination risk. 3 upgrades that cost F-150 owners thousands. A blinking OBD plug with a marketing budget, a geometry problem disguised as a truck mod, and a maintenance mistake that corrupts the sensor your ECU trusts most. Now let me show you the 4 that actually work, and why smart F-150 owners swear by them. Here's where it gets interesting. The most straightforward upgrade on this list applies to every F-150. Every year, every engine. Most owners are still getting it wrong. $100 to $200 for the axle set. A loaded F-150 weighs between 4,600 and 5,800 pounds. You're towing. You're hauling. Budget semi-metallic pads, $30 to $50 sets, are not built for those demands. Under repeated hard stops and towing downgrades, they overheat. Overheated pad material transfers unevenly onto the rotor surface. That creates deposits that cause pedal pulsation. The fix is new rotors, $150 to $250 each. You saved $40 on pads and spent $500 to $900 on rotors that didn't need to go. I see this constantly. Owner comes in with pedal pulsation. We measure the rotors, thickness variation from uneven deposits. Every time I ask about the pads, it's always a cheap set, always. Akebono, Power Stop, Z23, or EBC Green Stuff manage heat consistently, deposit friction material evenly, and produce substantially less dust. On an F-150 you're towing with, that consistent heat management determines whether your rotors survive the next 2 years. Buy the right pads once. Skip this $150 upgrade, and you could join the thousands of F-150 owners who've discovered that a 10R80 rebuild costs more than their truck's down payment. This is for 2017 and newer F-150s with a 10-speed 10R80. The 5.0, the 3.5 EcoBoost, and the 2.7 EcoBoost. Power Boost hybrid owners, this doesn't apply to you. Different pan configuration. Your factory 10R80 pan is plastic. It has no drain plug. To change the fluid, you drop the entire pan. Fluid everywhere, new gasket every time. A process involved enough that most owners just skip it. That's exactly what kills 10-speed transmissions. The 10R80 is a good transmission when it's maintained. When it runs hot and fluid isn't changed, it fails. Hard. I've seen them go at 80,000 miles on trucks that tow regularly with no service history. A rebuild runs $4,000 to $6,000. The aluminum pan that prevents that costs $150 to $200. PPE and Mishimoto both make cast aluminum replacement pans. External cooling fins drop transmission temperatures 15 to 20 degrees under load, and heat is the primary cause of ATF breakdown. The magnetic drain plug captures metal particles circulating in the fluid. Every drain tells you something about the internal condition of your transmission. Fine dark gray fuzz is normal. Bright silver flakes are not. That's the early warning a $4,000 rebuild doesn't give you. The pan also includes an MPT port for a temperature sensor, which connects directly to the monitor we're covering next. For 2011 through 2016 F-150s with the 6R80, similar aluminum pan options exist from both manufacturers. Same principle, same benefit. Most F-150 owners have no idea what temperature their transmission is running. They're towing a trailer up a grade in July with nothing but a fuel gauge and a speedometer. That's not enough information. A ScanGauge 2, about $160, plugs into your OBD port and gives you real-time data your factory gauges will never show. Transmission fluid temperature, real coolant temperature as a number, cylinder head temperature on EcoBoost trucks, live fuel trims, and the ability to read and clear trouble codes without a dealer visit. The ScanGauge uses Ford-specific X-Gauge codes that pull data directly from your PCM. The safe operating range for the 10R80 under towing load is below 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Above 220 and you're accelerating fluid degradation. Above 240, you're causing damage. Without a monitor, you have no idea where you are. With one, you know immediately, and you can back off or drop a gear before the damage starts. I've recommended these for years. Customers who take towing seriously always come back and say the same thing. I had no idea how hot my transmission was getting. Now I know exactly when to back off. This also connects directly to everything we covered in the hidden engine settings video. If you've already enabled digital coolant temp through ForeScan on your cluster, great. The OBD monitor adds transmission temperature, CHT, and live fuel trim data your cluster can't show you while driving. They work together. Link to that video is in the description. And this last one. This is the upgrade every EcoBoost F-150 owner should have before 30,000 miles. $120 to $200 for a quality baffled unit. Your engine produces blow-by gases. Oil vapor and combustion byproducts recirculated through the PCV system back into the intake manifold. On a direct injection engine, that oil vapor deposits onto the intake valve stems and bakes into carbon over thousands of miles. Direct injection means fuel goes directly into the combustion chamber. It never passes over the intake valves. On a port-injected engine, fuel washes the valves clean on every intake stroke. On the EcoBoost and the Coyote, that cleaning effect doesn't exist. Carbon accumulates, typically between 60 and 100,000 miles, until it restricts airflow enough to cause rough idle, misfires, and power loss. The fix is walnut blasting with the intake manifold removed, $400 to $800 in a shop. Some EcoBoost owners are doing it twice. The 5.0 Coyote benefits from a catch can as well, though the buildup is generally less aggressive than on the turbocharged EcoBoosts, where blow-by volume is higher. When you drain a catch can for the first time after 10,000 miles on a 3.5 or 2.7 EcoBoost, you'll see exactly why this is on the list. There's a surprising amount of oil in that reservoir, oil that was heading straight for your intake valves. The difference between an EcoBoost at 100,000 miles that runs clean and one that needs a walnut blast is usually one of these cans. Get a baffled unit. Mishimoto, UPR, or billet technology in the $150 range. The cheap $30 cans on Amazon are empty containers with 2 fittings. A baffled unit forces vapor through multiple direction changes to separate oil from air before it exits. The difference in what they capture is substantial. Install one at your next oil change and never go back. Here's your F-150 upgrade checklist. Avoid anything that promises performance for $40. Invest in parts that protect expensive components. Real upgrades solve real problems with real engineering. Ceramic pads, aluminum transmission pan, OBD monitor, catch can. Each one protects something that costs thousands to replace. Look, if this just saved you from a $1,000 mistake, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, because next week I'm showing you the hidden Ford settings that your dealer never activated. You won't want to miss that. I'll see you then.